Biden adds more corporate America in his staff picks. Fam, we've been talking about this, and it's like, this is the funny part right now. I want to have a meme where Biden and Trump are laughing, where Biden and Obama are laughing, and he's like, great run, Joe, why are you laughing? He goes, I told them I will appoint progressives to my cabinet, and Joe's just laughing, because it's laughable to think that you were going to move this guy, especially right when you gave him your vote, no matter what, progressives, not mentioning any names. I mean, so, fam, give us an update with what's going on his appointees.
Okay, so Biden has added, you guys saw the video I did about Ronald Klain and how the entire progressives were all like cheering. By the way, Ryan Grimm included on that. I forgot to include him on that. But Biden has added more of his corporate America to these staff picks. Let's go over really quickly on who he appointed to his team for the White House's his staff picks, right? So one of the people, and we're gonna go over him and the transition team later, but Steve Ricchetti is gonna be the counselor of the president. He is like as corrupt as they come, and I'm gonna show you exactly how. He had a really huge lobbying career in the 90s and early 2000s, and he's continuing his as counselor for the president. And the way they're framing this, of course, is that Joe Biden has the most diverse staff out of any other president. And you guys will see how. Doing? Oh, yeah.
The most diverse. Here they go.
Intersectional fascism. Intersectional imperialism. Yay. Now we have women of color. We have gay people. And we have trans people all pushing imperialism. Let's all cheer, because the bombs they drop are going to feel a lot more diverse on the people they drop them.
Yes.
Like, seriously? That is the mentality right now. Jen O'Malley Dillon is going to be the deputy chief of staff. She has been a long time consultant, worked for the Obama administration, also Rep. Beto O'Rourke. You know, he's in great company here. Dana Remus is going to be another counsel to the president. She served as a general counsel to the Biden campaign. And her experience clerking for conservative Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito is one of the things that, you know, they're hailing. Oh, great. She worked for a conservative justice. She recently gave a speech to the Federalist Society, airing grievances of the court's decision on same-sex marriages. Then there's Cedric Richmond, who's a Democrat in Louisiana. He's a senior advisor to the president and director of the White House Office of Public Engagement. So this guy is the national co-chair to Joe Biden's presidential campaign. He's going to focus on grassroots organization outreach and advocacy groups, including the NAACP, which is as co-opted as they come. He also worked with climate activists and businesses, and it was lauded by the South Carolina rep Jim Clyburn, who we know is no friend to Bernie Sanders.
No friend to progressives.
No friend to any progressive. And of course, he's the most senior, Clyburn was also the most senior Black Democrat in the House. So again, he's like we have diversity in Joe Biden's cabinet.
Wasn't this the guy watching golf and he got caught for watching golf while their hearing was going on?
I think so, yeah.
I think it was like a Russiagate hearing that the Democrats were pushing, and they caught this guy watching golf.
And another diverse imperialism coming over here is Julie Chavez Rodriguez. She's the director of the White House Office in Intergovernmental Affairs, and she is the granddaughter of Chavez, who is the Cesar Chavez. He was the famous labor leader. And she is now the highest ranking Latina after serving in senior capacity for Kamala Harris's presidential primary run. And she was one of Harris's earliest hires. She also worked with and has strong bonds with Obama and Biden. And of course, again, the diversity and the imperialism right there. Julie Annie Tomasini is the director of Oval Office Operations. Yeah, Tomasini was she was the traveling chief of staff. She's going to be, again, she's another woman that's there, hailed for being a woman. And she's, of course, been a corporatist for a while, working for several campaigns. And this is the big one, Julissa Reynoso Pantaleon, chief of staff to Jill Biden. She is a Dominican woman of Dominican descent. So all the Latino groups are hailing her because she is Latina. And she's working for Joe Biden. A couple other things I wanted to point out on these people specifically were some of their records. Specifically, no, it's not coming up.
Really? Why isn't that coming up?
That's really weird.
It's not letting us.
Oh, that's fine. But you guys pretty much saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was specific things though, so don't worry about it. But Jonny, can you please show this picture right here with all the people that were elected, and they're being hailed, of course, like I said, the most diverse. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women and a man of color and 2 women of color, and it's all gravy because that's what we're looking at.
Why did they? I mean, how did they get away with this thing, fam? They always throw the diversity thing out there, but they don't look at the policy and how these people are driven, how they can be pro-war and anti-labor and whatnot, and yet they throw this in. Oh, we have a Latina woman, a woman of color. You know what I'm saying? I got a guy who used to work for the NAACP, and it's just kind of weird that they do this shit. I mean, and they get away with it.
Yeah, 100%. And I just want to point out something right here with Mike Donilon, who is one of the picks over there that you guys can see. He helped draft Biden's message, and he's a senior advisor, and he's one of the most
New York Times,
freaking corrupt.
I don't get New York Times. It won't let me.
He's just one of the most corrupt people. His record. He's one of the ones that you know. Like I said, I'm gonna have a whole list of all these people, but Steve Ricchetti is actually the worst one out of all his staff picks. Steve Ricchetti was actually, like I said, a lobbyist, and he helped lobby for the same company responsible for jacking up the price of insulin, Eli Lilly and Company. If you guys remember, in January 2001, Ricchetti founded and ran Ricchetti Inc., a government relations lobbying and political consulting firm with his brother Jeff Ricchetti. And Ricchetti's firm represented a number of clients, including AT&T, Eli Lilly and Co., which is the insulin one, the American Hospital Association, United Technologies, American Council of Life Insurances, and the American Bankers Association. This guy in particular is trash, and the fact that he is going to be part of the Joe Biden, just even his little staff picks, the surface level of what we're seeing here, because his transition team is far scarier, and I'm working on a video on that because that is really scary. The people doing the hiring are all CIA, NSA, people like that, military guys, lobbyist types. Those are the ones that are hiring people like them.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say his mozzarella, it's tough. He doesn't even make good mozzarella, Steve Ricchetti. He's no good.
They got 2 Italians, but they're both,
they don't even know how to make good mozzarella. It's tough. It's rough.
It's rough, fam.
Like shoe leather. Who other?
And you mentioned earlier, fam.
This to me was all telling right here. It's like, wow, Lindsey Graham and Kamala Harris, right?
Right. Nothing will fundamentally change. In Joe Biden's own words, he has said that. So, like, my opinion, the true divide of this country was never between the right and the left, but between the working class and the elitist criminal establishment manipulating the plebs to loathe one another. And you guys can see here is Kamala Harris giving a fist bump to Lindsey Graham. This is all a game to them, you guys. They're just, like I said, they go home. They go to each other's weddings. They hang out in the same clubs. They hang out in the same circles. They're friends. You think that you are picking one team over the other. You are picking one team over the other. You're picking the team on the side of the oligarchy, of the establishment, of the imperialists, of the warmongers, of the CIA, of the NSA, of the Pentagon. You're picking all those people when you pick one of these parties, because these parties both belong to the corporatist side of the establishment. And there is no difference. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, there is them, and then there's us. Yeah. And that's what we always have to remember.
And the way everybody was just goaded back into the Democratic Party after one cycle, just get them right back in there. Somebody said on a chat the other day that I voted for the lesser of 2 evils, and everybody just assumed that he was talking about Biden. He goes, I voted for Donald Trump. I mean, you can make an argument that Donald Trump is the lesser of 2 evils when you see this behavior. They're on one side. It's the corporatist side over here. They forced Joe Biden down our throats after they forced Hillary Clinton down our throats. We were screaming about the elections from the get-go, saying that shouldn't be the way.
Yeah.
The whole thing, how Donald Trump stole the 2020 election was such a joke. Because how can they steal it from? How can Donald Trump steal the election when they stole it from Bernie Sanders twice?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's really sad to see Bernie Sanders kind of capitulate to these people right here. This just says a million words right here. Lindsey Graham, Kamala Harris, ladies and gentlemen, progressives, what did you do? You're going to have to face the facts of what you did. And you put us back. We're taking steps back.
We're taking
Donald
steps
Trump
back.
wasn't our guy, but at least he was a little bit more of a cage rattler. He stirred things up.
No, people saw him as, it's going to take a long time for people to really see things like the way they are actually, rather than what isn't embedded in their emotions, because their emotions right now are like Donald Trump, Orange Man Cheeto, bad, like we got it, we hate him, he's got to go. And I think obviously I don't want Donald Trump as president either, but I definitely certainly do not want Joe Biden. And that's the thing, when people were making that argument on the progressive end that we need to vote for Joe Biden
damage.
because we're going to be able to fight better with Joe Biden in there. Like, nobody could ever tell me where you got that information from, why you thought that you were going to be able to fight better with Joe Biden in there. Like, there's zero indication that having either of these people is going to make you fight better. If anything, having Trump out there, and the Black Lives Matter woman even said it herself, it was blatant, right? The things you had to fight against were blatant. Donald Trump was very transparent about where he stood ideologically. Like, he didn't, hold back as to what he believed in and all this thing. So you could fight that more clearly. With Joe Biden, it is the friendly mask, the friendly fascist mask, where you're gonna see, you're not gonna see people like get out like in that way, because it's already happening, you guys. Half of the people that we knew in the progressive movement here, yay, it's okay to celebrate, it's okay, we got Trump out. What the fuck are you celebrating? I'm so sorry. I just do not understand how you could possibly be celebrating when this is happening behind the scenes, this merger between the intelligence community, between the Silicon Valley big tech world, and of course between the mainstream media. All these institutions have lined up behind Joe Biden. Yeah. So has the old school Republican Bush type of neocons. You see, Lindsey Graham was upset that about Donald Trump bringing troops home, about Donald Trump's foreign policy. So do you not see that these alliances here are definitely pro-imperialist, pro-capitalist, pro-Wall Street, pro-everything, pro-NSA, CIA, and all those people are against the people. That's who you're cheering for. That's who you're cheering for.
Yeah, and it's so crazy, because if there was ever an election to say that we have to make some positive change moving forward, we have to get a little bit more progressive with our lawmakers and our policy to make sure that a person like Donald Trump never wins again. We did the exact opposite. We went back to brunch and we put the people in charge.
Yep.
That's what they wanted, the status quo. And the status quo is what delivered us Donald Trump in the first place. So the fact that they're just going back to the same people want to be in charge, and they got you fooled by saying, but Trump, and your TDS kicked in, and you're out there going, yay, and you're celebrating, and you're hitting your horns, and nothing is fixed. Our elections have gotten worse since they cheated Bernie Sanders in 2016. That's when the Democrats were really stepping up, like, we're going to put the full court press on our own party, people running within our own party, and we're going to cheat them, and you're going to have to select the people we want. The elections have gotten worse. The foreign policy from the Democrats have gotten worse. We can't get hawkish enough for them. The censorship has gotten worse. The Democrats that they've brought in, the new Democrats and the squad or whatever, they want more censorship. Yep. So we are lost in the woods, and the fact that you are celebrating Joe Biden is scary. I really hope something happens with these elections, because we have to fix the framework. And I'm of the school of that. If we get our elections straight, the populist minds will eventually take over, and we will get a better solutions and better results. And people like us will get the things we want, and we'll be pushed forward. So that has to happen, and I hope it really does. So I'm looking forward to continuing the election integrity talk, keeping an eye on these transition teams. I mean, he had the person from the Smartmatic board part of his transition team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
this transition team is absolutely disgusting. Like, it is absolutely a nefarious transition team. Transition more into corruption. You're not transitioning, and they're all these Democrats are using the same words. You've noticed they literally use the same slogans. On just real quick in the news, Johnny, I have this Julian Assange, who is locked down in Belmarsh prison right now. His prison is on lockdown after a COVID outbreak. Now, this is extremely dangerous because Julian Assange suffers from a rare lung issue that makes him more susceptible to COVID-19. And so his lawyers for Assange basically said that he is a high-risk patient, and he is, of course, waiting to find out if he'll be extradited to the U.S. to face charges of conspiring to obtain and disclose classified documents. And of course, this is a situation where all of my Assange folks I know are trying to be like, hey, Trump, pardon Julian Assange, pardon Julian Assange. You said you loved WikiLeaks, right? Pardon Julian Assange. This is a point where, regardless of where you fall ideology-wise, we see a lot of people on the right support Assange, which is interesting to me. But then we see a lot of people on the left support Assange. But come on, like, this is a time where you can come together and say, two things: election integrity, free speech. Those are the things that people can come together on. And right now you can make that push as well also for anti-interventionism. All these anti-war people on both sides of the aisle push Donald Trump. Hey, send the troops home, protect free speech, and of course push election integrity reform. If Donald Trump, or at the very least if his supporters make themselves more aware on these things, the next time around they might have who knows what can happen with people becoming more informed regardless of their ideology on these issues that are so important when it comes to protecting any sort of democracy. Because if we don't have free speech, we don't have fair elections,
forget about it.
And we're going to be invading countries all over the world.
Done.
We're never going to get anything we want.
Nope. And we're going to suffer, live on the streets, live paycheck to paycheck. Like 80% of the people are living paycheck to paycheck. So it's something we got to keep in mind. We got to straighten out. We got to move forward with these things. And, even just, we understand elections. We think that this election was a sham. But even further kind of cementing my thoughts are the big tech giants who keep censoring stuff online and keep on putting, things that we roll we roll it right here. U.S. election. The AP is called the presidential race for Joe Biden. Click on it, show me more. I mean, this shit's going on all over the place. They're just proving our point, ladies and gentlemen. What are they trying to hide? Remember, big tech gave $16 million to Joe Biden. Less than $1 million were given by big tech to Donald Trump. They don't like him. They want his ass out.
And
they want Joe Biden in because he'll do whatever they say.
No, they're going to do everything they can to get him out. I mean, they're already doing it. From the moment that mainstream media pretty much went and attacked Bernie Sanders, with the Washington Post posting 16 articles against Bernie Sanders in one day, like literally in 24 hours. That's election interference. When the mainstream media is painting a propagandized narrative that isn't real and isn't based on fact, that is only based on rhetoric and is only based on a certain narrative that they're trying to push, when they're getting money from these politicians, these defense contractors, that is election interference. People don't even talk about that. That in itself, the fact that our media is supposed to be the oversight to everything, and they've become a tool to push a certain narrative, that is election interference. From that moment, this election was already a sham, because you are already interfering in how the American people receive information, how they think how they perceive this information, and it's going to affect the outcome of our election. So we don't need Russia, we don't need China, we don't need Venezuela to interfere in our elections when they have far better elections than we do.
Yeah, and like you said, the media is supposed to be the people's guard dog. Instead, the mainstream media has turned into be the elite's lapdog, and that's just a shame.